Tennessee doesn't take a dollar what you earn. No state income tax, 95 counties, and a wall of mountains down the eastern side that people cross 3 states just to look at. A place this well-known should have been picked over years ago. It hasn't been. I pulled 10 off the listings this week, from $174,999 down to $25,000, and the $25,000 one is solid brick with 1,238 square feet sitting under it. I spent over 20 years selling real estate. Now I just look for the ones I'd have kept for myself, and I go through hundreds of listings every week, so you don't have to. 2 of these to watch for. The 4th house sits on 24 acres, and in the aerial photograph you have to hunt for the roof. The last one broke 2 records this channel has been keeping since spring. Subscribe to Real Estate Hunter USA, so these reach you first. And tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I read every one of them, and the requests you leave me are where half of these searches start. You don't pull up to this one. You climb to it. A 2-track of gravel and packed clay bends uphill through bare timber until a white metal roof shows through the trunks. 15.4 acres at the base of a mountain, and the driveway tells you what kind of property you're looking at before the house does. The deck wraps the front and turns a corner. On a morning like the one in these photographs, the fog is still sitting on the far ridge while you're out there with the first cup of coffee. And the loudest thing going is whatever's moving through the leaves below you. 2 rocking chairs, a rack of split wood against the wall, a mowed field dropping away toward the road. You don't drive to a view like that. You wake up inside it. Inside, the main room runs light. New counters, cabinets painted white, a window over the sink that looks straight into timber. No neighbor siding, no road, nothing but trees. At the end of the room stands a full wall of dark slate tile with a freestanding wood stove against it and split wood stacked to the base of it. There's more out on the deck. Whoever lives here has been feeding that stove all winter, and on a cold January night at the bottom of a mountain, you'd find every person in the house pulled into the warm end of that room. The listing calls this a beautiful remodel with attention to detail. I call it thoroughly refreshed. New floors, new counters, a bathroom you'd move straight into, all of it sitting inside a 1986 shell that still reads 1986 at the ceiling. No knock intended. The money went where money should go. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. The real limitation here, and the same one half this mountain lives with. What you do get is a proper laundry room, full-size washer and dryer with a counter built over them. Not a closet with hookups. Then there's the room under the roof. The owner didn't just finish it. They put a star chart on the ceiling, constellations mapped along the ridge line with a round skylight punched through the middle of them. Somebody put a child to bed under that. Nothing else in this house came out of a hardware store. Sneedville is a town of about 1,200 people in the northeast corner of the state, with parks, a grocery, and hills full of trails and fishing water wrapped around it. Now the number, $174,999, and the property tax runs $576 a year. The typical house in that town sells for around $126,500. So be clear about what you're paying for, not the 936 square feet, the 15 acres, the mountain, and 2 large rooms upstairs. The square footage doesn't even count. The next one is priced almost the same, and it has no mountain view at all. It has something rarer. Look at the line they drew on the aerial photograph. 11.46 acres of hardwood folded into a bowl, and 1 mowed strip of green at the top, where a previous owner decided the trees should stop. Everything inside that line is yours. Everything outside it, in every direction the camera can reach, is more trees. The porch turns a corner and keeps going. A griddle and a propane bottle set up on one side, a swing and 4 chairs waiting on the other, which tells you which side gets the evening. From those chairs, the treeline sits right at eye level. There's nothing out there but the hill, and the hill is the entire point of this property. The main room is bigger than 576 square feet, has any right to make it feel. Gray board walls, a braided rug in the middle of the floor, and a buck mounted on the wall that came off this land or off one just like it. 1 room, and it does everything. Nobody remodeled this kitchen recently. Somebody kept it. Narrow gas range with counters. Cedar on every wall. A fire extinguisher by the door, because out here you don't wait on a fire truck. In the corner there's a table with an oilcloth on it. 3 chairs, and a wooden calendar on the wall still flipped to December. Beside it, mounted low, a propane wall heater, the whole heating system, right there. On a January morning up here, you get up, you turn that thing on, and you sit at that table until a room catches up with you. 1 bathroom, with on every surface a fiberglass shower stall and no tub. The wall next to it is open enough to see the plumbing. Now, the listing files isn't a fixer-upper and talks about off-grid living, and I want to be careful here, because the photographs don't show a project. They show a cabin that's been lived in, dishes in the cabinet, a calendar on the wall, a shower that works. The generator and the spring water are real, and you'll need to plan around both of them. But nobody has to rescue this place first. Rogersville sits on the edge of the Tri-Cities, 100 miles northeast of Knoxville and 25 miles north of Johnson City. Locally owned shops line the streets. There's a historic district people move there for, and a broker in that town says the buyers coming in are after land and a little homestead of their own. $170,000. 11 and a half acres works out to roughly $14,800. An acre with livable cabin thrown in on top. Property tax, $235 a year. The second lowest bill in this video. And the median house in Rogersville sells for $174,900. So what you're looking at is the ordinary price of that town with 11 and a half acres attached to it. 2 houses at the top of 1 gravel drive. Close enough that you'd holler between them. Far enough that nobody hears the other one's television. Rare thing to find at any price. And it's the whole pitch on this property. The property line runs back off the road and narrows into the trees. Everything in front of it is mowed field with those 2 houses standing on it, and everything behind it stops being anybody else's business. 11 acres. Back in the timber there's water. Not a creek anybody would name, just a wet seam running through the leaves with light coming down green to the canopy over it. In May it moves. By August you'd have to go looking for it. You find something like that in your second week, and then you keep walking back to it. The main house has been done. Fresh paint to the ceiling, new white trim, new fans, and a kitchen that's genuinely new. Shaker doors, butcher block counters, a range nobody has spilled anything on yet. What it doesn't have is a refrigerator. And the gap where one goes reminds you this house was finished for a buyer, not for the person who did the work. Then drop your eyes to the floor. It's original wide plank pine, and nobody sanded it. Paint spatter, watermarks, 100 years of somebody's boots. Refinish it, and it's the best thing in the building. Leave it, and it's still a floor. They spent the money on the walls and left you that decision. The full bath is finished. Subway tile with glass block letting the morning in. The half bath they added is finished too, except the water heater is standing in the corner of it with the pipes showing. A practical decision got made there, and you'll see it every day. In the bedrooms, raise your eyes to the ceiling. Panel tile, not the smooth finish from the front rooms. The renovation got as far as that doorway and made a judgment call. Now the second house. The listing says 2 homes, and there are 2 homes, but they aren't the same story. Blue carpet, popcorn ceiling with paneling. Wiring loose on the floor. That one's a project, and it's why 11 acres costs what it costs here. Buy this, and you get a finished house to sleep in while you work out what the other one is worth to you. Bruceton is a small town in the western part of the state with a grocery, a library, restaurants, and a property crime score 28.6 against a national average of 35.4. Quieter than the country as a whole. By the numbers, $159,900. Property tax, $543. The typical Bruceton house runs about $107,300, so you're paying roughly half again the price of one ordinary house there and getting 2 houses and 11 acres for the difference. The next property has more land than anything on this list and almost no house at all. Find the house in this photograph. Go ahead and look for it. There's a green roof down on the right side of the frame, and it takes you a second to catch. And that second is what 24.89 acres on a Tennessee ridge actually buys you. 2 hillsides fold into a holler with 1 mowed green field at the bottom and hardwood running to horizon in every direction. In November, when the leaves are down and you can see the farthest you'll ever see from up there, there's still no second roof in the frame. Not a barn, not a neighbor's shed, not a power line running off toward somebody. They screened the corner porch and hung a wooden swing off the rafters. And on a ridge like this, the screen isn't decoration. From May to September, it's the difference between sitting outside and feeding the mosquitoes. Late in the afternoon, the light comes through the trees, sideways, and lands on that swing. And you'd end up out there more than you'd be inside. Inside is one room, and calling it a living room oversells it. It's a shell finished carefully and then left honest. Pine on the walls and the ceiling both. Open beams overhead. Shelves building along one wall. A kerosene lamp hanging where the power situation makes sense of it. A ladder climbs to a loft with a single window at the end, and bare sheathing still down on the floor. Right now, that loft holds shovels and a pump. It's also the only place in the building a bed goes, and it's plenty big enough for one. Be clear about what this is. No septic yet. No heat, no cooling, no natural gas at the road. There's a black water tank on the side of the building, and it tells you the water story before the listing does. What there is: for 180 square feet built in 2008, new flooring, a vaulted ceiling, horses allowed on the property, and a paved lane running in clean all the way through the timber to the door. Not always true at this price, and it matters a great deal in February. Hillam sits on the upper Cumberland in Overton County, north of Cookeville, in the kind of country where the nearest grocery is a drive and the nearest neighbor is a decision. Now the arithmetic, because $312 a square foot sounds absurd until you turn it around. $150,000 across 24.89 acres works out to about $6,000 an acre, and the cabin comes along for nothing. Cheapest ground in this video by a wide margin. Property tax, $707. The highest bill on this list, and it still lands near $59 a month for 25 acres of Tennessee. This one's a base camp. The next one is a house lived in for 80 years, 30 minutes from a real city. Whoever owns this house pulled the ceiling down in the front room, and you can see straight up into the joists. Underneath all of it, on a brick hearth, sit a cast iron Englander stove with a cooking plate on top and family photographs still lined up on the mantel above it. Whoever started tearing this room apart took the pictures down last. The house stands at the top of 2 mowed acres with a maple in front of it big enough to shade the whole yard by 4 in the afternoon, and on a July day, that shade is the only place anybody would want to be. That tree was here before the house was, and the house went up in 1946. Out back, the ground drops to red clay and old open front barns, and past them the pasture and the tree lean. They opened the wall between the kitchen and the living room and put a post in to carry the load while they worked out the rest. The post is still standing. So is the torn drywall above it. But the floor underneath all of it is brand new, light gray, and it runs unbroken through every room in the building. A renovation started at the bottom and stopped in the middle, and the price is sitting exactly where they stopped. The appliances are all new stainless. Range, dishwasher, a French door refrigerator bought recently. The cabinets around them are the original 1946 boxes with gray paint over them. There's a whole house in one room. New money spent on the things that break. Old bones left alone. 3 bedrooms. 1 bath. One bedroom has a striped accent wall somebody painted by hand, and a pipe running across the ceiling. The bathroom they haven't touched, original tile, a sink with the plumbing showing underneath. And the laundry room next to it currently holds paint cans and power tools, which tells you the work is still going. Close that front ceiling back up, and on a cold January evening, you'd have the warmest room in the county sitting around that stove. Here's what separates this one from everything else on the list. It's in the Plainview community outside Corryton, and Knoxville is 30 minutes down the road. Farmland on every side, a real city with hospitals, and an airport at the end of a half-hour drive. Nothing else in this video sits that close to that much. $129,900 for 2 acres and 1,074 square feet, which comes out to $121 a square foot. Property tax comes to $275 a year, around $23 a month on a house half an hour from one of the biggest cities in the state, and the third lowest tax bill in this video. The next one needs work too, and the reason one has nothing to do with anything you've seen so far. A person spent years in this house with a saw. There's a bedroom wall of pine they scorched by hand until the grain came up black under the flame, and a pressed tin ceiling over it with a raised pattern stamped into every panel. There's stained glass set into the kitchen wall, green and pink lilies in 2 frame lights, and more of it in the door you come in through. Not one board of it looks store-bought. In the evening, with the bulb on and the tin catching the light overhead, that back room does something a builder-grade house simply cannot do at any price. This one isn't off in the woods by itself, and I'd rather tell you than let you find out. There's a neighbor down the slope, a road out front, and if you follow the aerial photograph to the top corner, a rail line. 2.36 acres with mature oaks standing on it, in a place where people actually live, a different animal than the last 2 houses, and a good number of you are going to want this one more. The living room floor is the original hardwood, and it still holds a shine. 85 years of feet across it, and it's the soundest surface in the building. One room has a brand new pine floor that hasn't been finished yet, so you can see the knots and the saw marks, and it's soft enough to dent with a thumbnail. Whoever was working on this house was still working on it when they stopped. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. The bathroom is dated but working, with a steam locomotive painted on the wall and grab bars already mounted beside the tub. An older person lived here, and the family made it easier for them. The laundry has its own small room with brick pattern paneling, and a stacked washer and dryer against the wall. Outside, the detached 2-car garage is in better shape than the house is. Workshop, storage for whatever you're restoring, or the place everything goes while you finish the inside. You'll use it either way. And the metal roof over both buildings is new enough that it still photographs green in the summer sun. Winfield is a small community in Scott County, up against the Kentucky line in the northern Cumberlands, where the ground is more ridge than field. $114,000, already down $6,000 from where it started. Works out to $122 a square foot across 936 square feet, with $315 a year in property tax. But square feet aren't what you're buying here. You're buying 2 1/3 acres, a garage, a new roof, and an interior built by hand that nobody could reproduce the price of the entire house. The next one costs less than this and has nearly 1,000 square feet. The listing refuses to count. Vertical cedar gone silver, a roof line that drops deep on one side, and a porch deep enough that the front of the house sits in shade all afternoon. Whatever year anybody tells you this was built, it got built onto later, and whoever did it had taste. One room in here is glass on 2 sides, floor to ceiling, looking straight into the trees. Late in the day, the sun comes through the west wall, and the whole tile floor goes gold, and there's nothing out there to look back at you. The deck off it is weathered gray and needs boards. Sit out there in April anyway, and you'll understand exactly what the builder was going for. There's more than one building on these 2.8 acres. 2 wooden barns with metal roofs, one of them leaning about as much as you'd expect, and one of them not leaning at all. The listing counts a 24 by 20 garage. The photographs suggest they undercounted. Now the corner behind that diamond lattice screen, cut and fitted by hand. There's a staircase back there, and it climbs to 960 square feet. The listing doesn't count. It doesn't count it because there's no heat source up there. So the arithmetic runs 1,410 square feet on paper and roughly 2,370 under the roof. The day a duct gets run up there. The kitchen floor is coming up in patches, and you can see the subfloor through it. Get past that, because 2 things in a room are worth real money. A brick wall with a hearth built into it, and a sliding glass door onto that deck out over the trees. The tile is a weekend and a dumpster. The bones are already right, and the bedrooms have the original plank floors, in better shape than anything else in the building. Wallpaper somebody sponged on decades ago. Sunlight coming in one window and landing on wood that's been down for a century. Then the bathroom wall is open, blue pipe, bare plywood, and a toilet that is also blue. Which brings us to the listing's 2 words. Cash only. No lender is writing a loan against that wall. And that single fact is why this house is $77,900 instead of $130,000. Paris is the seat of Henry County, about 10,000 people, incorporated in 1823 as a center of agricultural trade, and named after the Marquis de Lafayette. There's a 70-foot Eiffel Tower replica in a park downtown, a June festival running since 1921, and century farms outside town held by the same families for more than 100 years. The typical house in Paris sells for around $161,900. This one is under half of that, on 2.8 acres, with property tax of $366 a year. $55 a square foot on paper, around 33, if you count what's actually under the roof. Everything after this is under $50,000. The first thing you see on this one is a set of porch steps that need replacing. $50 of lumber and an afternoon. Now get past them. They painted every surface in this house white. Walls, ceiling panels, trim, and in the front room it works. A wide multi-pane window faces the street. A second one faces a side yard. And by mid-morning the light comes in off both of them and fills the room so completely you never reach for a switch. The carpet under it is finished. Everything above the carpet is ready. Go into the bathroom and take a close look. The toilet is still wrapped in plastic with a factory sticker on the lid. So is the sink. Nobody has used this bathroom yet. New fixtures went into a $45,000 house, and then the work stopped before the first tenant ever showed up, and you're getting them still in the wrapper. The kitchen isn't going in a magazine. It's a kitchen with a working stainless range, a refrigerator that stays, speckled counters that wipe clean, and a wood-look floor you don't have to touch. At this number, those 4 things are the entire list. And there's a real laundry room beside it, not a closet, a room with a washer and dryer that come with the house, and a back door next to them, in 893 square feet. Giving a whole room over to laundry was a deliberate choice. 2 bedrooms, both with windows on 2 walls, both square and dry and bright. Neither one is big. Out back, there's a metal shed sitting on cinder blocks with vines coming up the side of it. It'll hold a mower. Don't expect more. This is a town lot, and the aerial photograph doesn't hide it. A neighbor close enough on one side to hand something across. Trees on the other. What the acreage bought you on the other 9 listings. This one hand's back in utilities. City water, sewer, and fiber optic already run out to the road. For first house, or for a rental you can drive to on a Saturday. That trade is worth thinking about a good deal harder than most people do. Trenton is the seat of Gibson County, and you know you've arrived when you pass the sign posting the speed limit at 31 miles an hour. $44,900, already down $20,000 from where it started, which is the biggest drop on this list. $50 a square foot. Property tax runs $493 a year. And here's the part worth sitting with for a second. You'd pay more property tax on this town lot than the man with 11.5 acres up in Rogersville pays on his. The next one is already collecting rent. 25 feet wide, chain link all the way around, and a magnolia on the property line big enough that half the front yard sits under it all summer. The grass gave up under that tree years ago. 686 square feet, on a lot you could pace off in 10 steps. This one was flipped recently, and flipped properly. New dark plank floor running through. Fresh gray on the walls. 3 windows across the front room with the blinds already hung. Stand in that room around 10 in the morning, and the light comes through all 3 of them at once. It photographs better than houses on this list that cost 3 times as much. The kitchen is bigger than the bedroom, and that isn't a mistake. In a cottage from 1920, the kitchen was the room you lived in. Red tile polished across the whole floor, white cabinets with black pulls, a hood, a double sink, and a gas water heater standing right out in the open in the corner where everybody can see it. No range, no refrigerator. 2 appliances and it's finished. 1 bedroom, and the heat in it comes out of a wall unit beside the door. The whole heating system, right there in 1 grill. The closet has a rod and no doors. A 1-person house, built as one. In the bathroom, everything is painted over tile and function. And then there's a sink, a dark blue glass bowl sitting up on the counter like the owner had exactly one idea and spent it all in a single place. Out back, there's a shed new enough that the door is still bears sheathing, and the vines have already taken the fence on both sides of it. Now be straight about what you're buying. The photographs show an empty house. The listing says there's a tenant in it, paying somewhere around $700 a month on a lease that runs to the end of October. Both of those can be true because the pictures were taken before the tenant moved in. But you're buying a house you can't walk through with somebody else's lease attached to it. For an investor, that's the appeal. If you were planning to live in it, that's a hard stop until November. This is Orange Mound, Founded in 1890 and folded into Memphis in 1919, one of the oldest planned residential communities in the city. Melrose High School, the Orange Mound Grill, MT Moriah Baptist Church standing since 1879, and residents who have spent decades holding on to what the neighborhood actually is. $42,000. $61 a square foot in a city where the median house sells for $148,300, under a third of ordinary. And the rent side is simple arithmetic. At roughly $700 a month, the rent covers the purchase price in about 5 years. Before $1 it comes back out for anything else. One house left. It's the cheapest thing I have ever put in front of you. Solid brick, a chimney running up the side, a screen porch across the full front of the house, and a carport with poured concrete under it. 1,238 square feet. $25,000. Those numbers belong to the same house. And I've been keeping records on this channel since spring. Start at the front door, because it's the best thing here. The original Craftsman door, vertical panes of glass, a brass handle set worn smooth by 50 years of hands, 6 coats of black paint over red. Stand at it on a bright afternoon, and the whole street comes back at you in the glass. The house across the way, the bare trees, a truck at the curb. Nobody makes that door anymore, and it came attached to a $25,000 house. Now, the part the number is paying for. Raise your eyes to the underside of that carport roof. The fascia has gone soft, moss is growing across the soffit, and a fresh piece of lumber has been sistered in at the corner to hold it. Water has been getting in there for years, and one person finally did something about 1 foot of it. The kitchen tells you the rest. Staining running down the wall from the ceiling line, tile coming off behind the sink, one base cabinet, a floor letting go. Whatever leaked up, there leaked a long time. Anybody buying this is buying a roof first and a kitchen second. And this is not an empty house. There are photographs on the paneling, a man in uniform and 3 or 4 babies at different years, and a bed made up in the next room. A family has lived here a long time. Hollywood is a North Memphis neighborhood where homes get handed down from one generation to the next rather than sold, and whoever buys this one is buying the end of something. Worth saying out loud before anybody says $20 a square foot. Under all of it, original strip oak, flat and sound, running through the living room and into the back bedroom, where the sun comes through 2 windows by late morning and lands on boards that have been down since 1917. The plaster below those windows has let go in places. The floor hasn't moved. $25,000, and it's already down $10,000. $20 a square foot against a Memphis median of $148,300, which puts it near 1/6 of ordinary. Downtown is less than 10 miles up the road, and a park and a community center sit at the heart of the neighborhood. That's the list. So that was Tennessee. 10 houses, $174,999 down to $25,000. A deck at the base of the mountain with the fog still sitting on the far ridge at 7 in the morning. 11 acres of hardwood folded into a bowl, with a wooden calendar on the wall still turned to December. A ridge where you have to hunt the roof out of photograph. A cast iron stove under a ceiling torn open. Family pictures still lined up on the mantel above it. A wall of pine scorched by hand under a pressed tin ceiling. And a brass door handle in North Memphis worn down to a shine. I've priced enough houses over the years to know when number is off, and 3 of these are off in your favor. The Paris place is under half what an ordinary house costs in its own town, with nearly 1,000 square feet under the roof that nobody is counting. The Rogersville cabin came in at the median price of its town with 11.5 acres attached. And the last one broke 2 records this channel has been keeping. Cheapest house and lowest price per foot in the same listing. Go back and look closely at the 4th house and the 10th one. Those are the 2 I pointed you toward at the start. And they're the 2 I'd walk before I did anything else on this list. Every listing is linked in the description below. And the older video holding the records this one just broke is linked down there as well. I go through hundreds of listings every week, so you don't have to. Subscribe to Real Estate Hunter USA, and the next state reaches you before it reaches anybody else. And leave me a comment. Tell me where you're watching from and what you want me hunting down next. Every one of them gets read.